Hello and welcome to Fifth and Grace. It is October. It's our season. Well, it's my season. It may be your season too, but it is definitely my season. Happy October 1st. Today we're going to have a little peek at what's coming up this month. It's September was a little crazy, that's for sure. And my first video of September, so 30 days ago, I made a prediction in that tarot reading that there would be a huge event in September involving Donald Trump. Well, I think that happened. I think that happened. I thought it would be connected to his trip to the UK. Turns out, no, that's not what it was about. It was about someone else. We know who that was about. So yeah, it was kind of interesting that the cards and spirit knew something was coming, but we just didn't get all the information, which is fine. We get blocked from seeing any mystic, any psychic. Anyone will tell you that there are things, well, anyone worth their salt, anybody who's good, legitimate, real, not a scammer. There's a lot of scammers out there. Anybody who is a legitimate tarot reader or psychic or mystic will tell you that there are times that we are just blocked, and spirit will be like, nope, and the curtain's drawn, and that's it. You don't get to see the information. So that's sort of what happened, because I was like, well, what's going to happen? And I got nothing. So yeah, but it did happen. So there's a prediction. If you're tempted to send me videos of other psychics and readers, just know I don't watch them. And the question I would have for you is, if you're sending me their video, are you sending them my video? Because I understand you're like, oh my God, they have all these predictions. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And so, yeah, I did find it interesting that nobody cared that I predicted that massive event in September. But want to share other people's videos with me where they predicted it. And I'm like, okay, well, or I'm assuming they predicted it. I don't know, because I don't watch them. I've said a few times, there's only one tarot reader I watch, and it's just because she has some courses, and I've taken some of her workshops. So there we go. Anyway, some chitty chat while we shuffle the cards. One more good shuffle. I'm actually going to just bend. I like to bend them just a tiny bit, just so I can get a good grip. There we go. Nice. Okay, so we're just going to have a look at what's coming up for October. This is not a structured reading the way a lot of mine are. And of course, there's an educational element. Somebody yesterday asked me if I teach tarot. Yes, every day here on my channel, I'm teaching tarot. Get your notebook and get a pen. And when a card comes up, start writing the notes on that card, because I always say what the card actually means, the highest level meaning of the card plus some lower level meanings. Don't take that to mean anything other than just like there's big meanings and then there's sort of smaller meanings depending on the situation. I don't want it to be like, oh, this is good and this is bad, or yeah, just it's that we've got big powerful meanings, and then we have some lower, like smaller meaning. You know what? I'll explain it when I pull a card. Okay. So we got to be patient with the world. We have to be patient. So this again, Queen of Pentacles, all of our queens, the top level meaning is patience. So, and it doesn't matter what queen you pull, it just needs to be patient, or it means patient. So, we have to be patient with the world. We have to be patient with the speed at which things are moving. A lot of people really, really want everything exactly their way right now. I'll give you a great example. I saw somebody complaining about the Canadian Conservative government, and their complaint was that they are not extreme enough. They're not willing to speak out about banning trans surgeries. They're not willing to speak out about banning people who aren't Christian, like, you know what I mean? And then just like, yeah, they were like, that why will the conservative government not ban the LGBT community? Like that was kind of their post about it, and I was like, because that's not who we are. But they want something. They want everything to move to the extreme really fast, and that's not how we move generally as a country or any country. You don't normally see something at this point in our history like overnight, right? It takes years to get to a certain place. And I don't think we're going to be going in that direction in Canada. We may lean more to it, but we're not going to be going to any extreme place. And what that person, when I read their post, what I thought was, you have an absolute fundamental lack of understanding of how politics works. So, but they're getting frustrated. They're getting impatient with the process. And I get it, but it's a slow moving train, let me tell you. So we have to be patient with the world. We have to be patient with our governments. We have to be patient with the people around us. You know, we've been trying to convince people to open their eyes for over 5 years. And do you see how long it's taking people? They just don't get it. And I don't know that I think there's people who just are not capable of getting it. So we just have to be patient. And the more patient and kind and loving we can be with the people around us, the easier our lives will be. I know that many places are feeling the financial frustration as well. Depending on where you live, try to see like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, are you going through a hard time now so that you can be prosperous later? Or is this a situation where things are just getting worse and worse and worse, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel? It's good to be realistic about that. It's good to be honest with yourself about that. A lot of people are not honest with themselves because our emotions get in the way of truth. And I don't mean my truth or your truth or, you know, any one specific person's truth. That's not truth. That's simply your perception of the world. There's one truth, and everything else is not the truth. It's just how you're perceiving it, how you're receiving it through your lens based on your life, your experience, you know, how you were raised, your culture, your religion, everything shapes how we perceive the world. We actually had this conversation yesterday online. In that, you know, two people can have the exact same experience, but tell two very different stories. Like, which one's true, right? So there's a truth, and then there's the rest of us just perceiving things through our own lens. So when people say my truth, no. That's not the truth. That's my opinion, my thoughts, my beliefs, my feelings, but that's not the truth. So when we're dealing with people like that, we need to be patient, and we need to be patient with ourselves as we all try to, you know, make our way through all the craziness in the world right now. If you're Canadian, yeah. If you're Canadian, just I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The Conservative Party is not backing down. They are just getting going. Last week, I spent time with Michelle Ferreri. I spent time with Jamil Javani. I spent time with Philip Lawrence, and I spent time with Pierre Poilievre. And none of them are backing down. They are getting more fired up. So just know, if you live in Canada, things are happening behind the scenes that maybe you're not seeing. If you watch it on the news, I suggest you watch Parliament. Go to CPAC and watch it on Parliament. If you are in America, I don't know what your thing is like CPAC, but it's the same kind of thing. C-SPAN, I think, maybe is your sort of non-biased broadcaster of all things political. Anyway, that was a big long explanation for, because I was trying to really make it like something that we could all relate to. We just need to be patient. Everybody needs to be patient. The presidents and prime ministers need to be patient. The people need to be patient. We all just we can't make any rash moves right now, except maybe collapsing the Canadian government. I don't know. But just, do you know what I mean? Just be patient with everybody. If your neighbor is not fully up to speed with you, just be patient. Just drop the breadcrumbs, like make the suggestions, like do the things, live your life in a way that they might want to see as aspirational. Okay. Again, money. So the major, we look at this as like a past struggle. Like what has led us to this moment? What are we struggled with that has kind of got us here? And it's money. It's just people feeling that they are not able to really, like, what's coming through is like, get out of the gate, like just shoot out of the gate, like a horse, just phew, right? Everybody wants to do that. Again, back to patience. But we're being blocked in a lot of ways. Of course, different countries are being blocked by your leaders. Plus we have, inflation, which is caused by leaders, but really it's like it's a complex thing. So we have, people trying to start businesses, but nobody has any money. Do you know what I mean? So that's what's sort of led to this. I think that will be the pivotal change, that people will be sick of being scared of losing everything, and they're going to fight back. I can feel uprisings. We're already seeing it in the UK and in Europe and places like that. I don't think it's going to be long before we see it in North America as well. We have, all the lefty protests that are consuming our cities. And I think we're going to start to see people gathering, rallying to sort of stand up to that and drown it out. So, but that, because there's just so much being blocked, and some governments are great, some are not. And yeah, it's the financial stuff. It's money. It's, we know that money is being taken from us. Like our money that we work hard for and pay taxes is being sent to all these other countries. Right. So it's, if the money was being spent in Canada, we'd be the most prosperous country in the world. Everybody would be, driving nice cars and living nice lives and under a proud flag, as PR would say. So yeah, the pivotal future event. And by the way, our 8s are blocks and obstacles. Okay, so if you're making notes, when people say, do you teach tarot? Yes, I do. I'm teaching you right now. I'm teaching you right now, as well as entertaining you. So something that's going to come up in the future, there's going to be a moment. I know that this card comes with an August date, so I don't even need to look it up. But that people are really going to be going inside. I feel like this is already kind of underway, where we have a lot of people realizing that we're in a spiritual war, and they're going inside to try to figure themselves out, and they're gonna, because a lot of people, they don't even know who they are, so they just do what the government tells them. They don't know what their values are. They don't know what their boundaries are. They don't, you know what I mean? They're just going along just for the sake of survival. And we should never be at that place. We should not be so consumed with survival that we can't actually prosper. So I think that we're going to see a big uprising of people who have been doing some work, and as Hulk Hogan would say, saying your prayers and taking your vitamins, like that kind of thing. Whatever that looks like to you. Okay? We're not here to tell anybody what to believe or what to do. But whatever that looks like to you, like I'm not Christian, but I pray. I call it meditation. I have my affirmations, and you know what I mean? Sometimes the only prayer you need is thank you. That's a beautiful prayer. Thank you. So, I think we're going to see people really having a spiritual uprising, and they're going to start fighting back against the demonic forces that are controlling much of the world right now. Yeah. Our 7s are always about experience. So write that word down if you're learning. The concern that the world seems to have right now, or at least the Western world, if we're going to kind of take it from my own perspective, is that, you know, we've done this before. We've been through this. Like, it's just rinse and repeat with our leaders and everything going on. I feel like I'm really getting strong political energy coming through on this reading, so I think we're just going to keep running with that rather than trying to make it like about any specific personal things. Yeah, I feel like it's just that people think that this is just going to be like Groundhog Day forever. And it's not going to be like that. It can't go on like this. There's always going to be a breaking point where it all collapses, or the people stand up and say no. It's like that picture that you see of the people all kneeling on the floor and the table is on their backs, and it's like all the people have to do is stand up and the whole game is over. So as soon as they do, they will. It will be over. It'll be done. And we just don't want that to happen before we get to a place where things could change. So to explanation of that would be, you need the poles moving in the right direction before we're going to see big changes. And what do we have here? The emotional undercurrent. So pages are always students. They're always learning new journeys, new projects, new way of life. I think this is definitely pointing to a new way of life. So if we're going to look at the emotional undercurrent, that is like really coming in that people are done. People want changes now. And it's, yeah, it's getting spicy. The energy is getting really spicy underneath, which is kind of fun. Kind of fun. The fear, people are scared of a new financial system, a new, like, people just want to keep cash, but they keep trying to get us on digital ID, which will lead to central banking, which will lead to social credit, which will lead to, you know, your 15 minutes, all of it. The whole woke lefty agenda is that the fear is that that's what's coming. I'm so impressed at what happened in the UK last week when Keir Starmer tried to bring in digital ID, and the entire UK was like, no. And that's what we have to do. So don't just sign the petition, but if it does come, just don't participate. Figure it out. Have the courage to live off of the system. Have the courage to learn how to provide for yourself. And that's what a lot of people are missing. You know, this is a great time to start learning how to grow your own food. This is a great time to learn how to start canning and preserving. This is a great time to build your little storage room with shelves and everything to keep, you know, your stockpiles, all that sort of thing. And connect with other people to share, right? When this was all going on in 2021 and 2022, where we just didn't know what was going to happen to people who refused to participate, I saw a really great post from a guy that I met, and he said a lot of people are very, very tempted to surround themselves, like form a little community, a survival community, with people with similar interests and backgrounds and everything as themselves, right? This isn't about forming a friendship group. This is about who are we going to survive with. So start looking around you and building relationships with people who have skills completely different than your own. Okay, you might be, you know, the prissy little princess who likes her Starbies and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Great. You want to look for a hunter. Make friends with someone who knows how to hunt and field dress. And if you don't know what that is, Google it. Field dressing is that's something that hunters do. And learn, find someone who can do that, because that's who you want in your community, right? If you are really good at knitting, don't surround yourself with knitting people. Surround yourself with egg farmers or like chicken farmers so that you can get eggs, and, you know, someone who's a mechanic, and someone who, like I said, a hunter, and, you know, people who know how to do all kinds of things, because within a group, you should have a whole variety of skills. And remember, this is not about making friends. This is about surviving together. So that, and every group needs the knitter, because we know how to make the sweaters, the socks, the scarves, the things to keep us warm through the winter. Okay? Okay, there we go. That was a big, long explanation. Oops. The obsession. Got two things coming through right now. Top level meaning of this card is creativity. Threes are always about tapping into your creativity. This is mental creativity. I think a lot of people are running this story through their minds all the time. We need to just change the narrative for ourselves a little bit and not be obsessed with what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? To I've got this. I just need to make the right connections and develop the right skills. Okay, so again, back to canning. Learn how to make your own food. You can can eggs. Did you know that? You can take eggs fresh out of the chicken's bum and you can store them for years. Google how to do that. Google how to freeze dry. If you know somebody who has a freeze dryer machine, I don't know what they're called. Maybe it's just called a freeze drying machine. If you know somebody who has that, coordinate all your friends and everybody, and then come and pay them to set up in a big room where you all get to freeze dry your stuff and prep and have a community connection day and make new friends and share skills, get everyone to write down their skills. And then you can freeze dry so much that you can store easily. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you got to start thinking ahead. When eggs are on sale, buy lots, get them freeze dried. You can freeze dry eggs. They make wonderful scrambled eggs when you're done. Things like that. Okay. But we got to get creative. We got to start thinking in a better way, not a way of obsessing over our downfall, but of figuring out how we're going to get through this. Because what they want is for you to obsess about your downfall. They don't want you to figure out how you're going to survive it. So there we go. There we go. This is our desire. This is our driving ambition through all of this. We've got the star, main character energy. I'm going to look up the timing of this card because I can. So this is January 20th to February 18th. So this is Aquarius season. And the driving desire and ambition is long-term change. That's what this card means. It is, I do also include main character energy, but really the top level is long-term. So whatever changes that come, they're going to be long-term. And I can attest to this because there are countries in the world that were once communist countries and they will never again be a communist country because there will always be a generation that remembers. So when I say never again, I mean like in our lifetime, or maybe a couple generations. We don't know what will happen. I never thought Canada would be a communist country, but here we are. Here we are. We are well on our way. So there's definitely whatever changes come, they're going to be around for a long time. Here's what I think. Here's my prediction. So we can return to this in a few years. I think that whole thing where Donald Trump is putting like Trump 2028, that's like he's trolling people, right? I think he sent one of those posters or hat or something to like the governor of California, who's the complete antithesis to him. I think that is not Donald Trump 2028. I think it's another Trump. He's got a whole collection of Trumps that could be running for president for 30, 40 years. Barron Trump is like, what, 18, 19 years old? In 20 years, he could be running for president. And I think he might. I hope I live that long. I hope I live to see it. You also have the Trump, like sort of the adopted Trumps, like the people that have been taken into the fold and considered family. So you've got J.D. Vance, you've got Tulsi, who else is there? Like Bobby Kennedy, like people like that who may be part of the Trump team that go on to keep running for president and winning. I think that in America, there will be, this is not a one and done Republican government. I don't think the next one will be Republican. I think it will, or it will, I don't think the next government will be Democratic. I think it will be Republican. And that could go on for a long time, as more and more people get fed up with everything. So whatever happens, it will be long term. There will be a feeling of permanence to it. Yeah, a feeling of permanent to it. Okay. The main obstacle that we're looking at is, we got a lot of queens through here. That's kind of interesting. So just again, patience. The main obstacle will be impatience. I see a lot of people, like even I have clients sometimes who they come to me with a problem and I say, you need to resist the urge to just be constantly going on the attack. Like just sit there with your mouth shut sometimes, like, you know what I mean? And the next thing they're calling me going, they said this, I lost my mind, blah, 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 right? Like we have to be patient. You know, there's a fantastic book called The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And my favorite part of it, my favorite teaching of it is, if I sit by the river long enough, the bodies of my enemies will float by. And what that to me means, is my own interpretation of that, is that sometimes I don't need to do anything except watch the people I don't like destroy themselves, right? We see the left does, they eat themselves alive. They turn on each other so fast. The left is never going to be in agreement with itself, because unfortunately most lefties feel that you're never left enough. And I, you know, it's the extreme ends of things. And I'm not talking about your middle ground people. I'm talking about people who are firmly on one side or the other. And we just need to be patient. We just need to, you know, like the whole Mark Carney situation. Everybody wanted him gone right away. And it's like, no. Let him destroy himself. Let him go up in flames in front of the entire nation, in front of the entire world. And he's doing that spectacularly. The polls are changing so fast here. And Parliament has been sitting for 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, maybe. And already it's going up in flames. So yeah, we just need to be patient and just bide our time, resist the urge to get into shouting matches or react to every single thing. If you see something that makes you angry or upsets you or whatever, I want you to take 24 hours to think about it and see how you feel in 24 hours and then respond. Respond. Don't react. Don't react. It's like that that thing with the kids where they put, you know, cookies on a plate, and the person running the test will say, if you can have one cookie now, but I need to go into the other room, if you wait for me to come back, you can have all the cookies. You see what I'm saying? The kid who waits gets all the cookies. That child is going to be successful in life because they understand patience. There's a reason 3 queens came out here today. There's a reason patience. Was it 3 queens? No, it wasn't. It was what was the other card that made me? Oh yeah, it was this one. But there's 2 queens came out today. Sorry everyone. I can't count. I mean, you know, but we just need to, you know, if we're patient, then the results will be long term. If we're impatient, the results won't be. It's pretty simple. Anyway, that's my predictions for this month. I think we all just need to chillax a little bit. Nothing major coming up. Even Spirit is like, nah, let's just ride the wave this month. Not seeing anything major coming up. That may change. I'll be reading every day all month, so you never know. Things might change. And we'll see what happens. We shall see. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to click the like button, click subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know you were here so we can have a little chitty chat. And as ever, have a magical day.